Good morning and welcome to UUCC, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Canandaigua. We are a group of spiritual free thinkers who gather to celebrate life, build community, and better the world. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we welcome you. I am Thomas Lyon. I'll be your worship associate for today, and today's service will be led by Abby Hellauer-Geiger, our very own. This service is being live streamed on our YouTube channel. We will be planning to continue hybrid worship service throughout the church year, so you can join us each week here in person, on Zoom, or on YouTube later if you prefer. If this is your first visit, welcome. If this is your 1000th visit, welcome. We have a few announcements for today. Masks are now optional. We will not be having childcare service during the summer, and we will be collecting cards for Joys and Sorrows after our first hymn. Please fill them out or type them into the chat if you are meeting us on Zoom. If you have anything, sure. Are there any other announcements for the good of the order? All right, not seeing anything else. We are now going to enter a space for worship. I invite you to join me in the chalice lighting words as the flame is lit. The words should also be up on the screen there. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
have a call to worship on my page. I think I'm just introducing the next hymn, though, if that's what we're going. So good morning. Good morning. We're doing opening hymn number 40. What book is that in? The Black Book? There we go.
We are a community that holds one another in our joys and in our sorrows, our celebrations and our pain. We welcome you to share any joys or sorrows held deeply in your heart by writing them down on a card found with your chair or into the Zoom chat box. Know that whatever is on your heart, we are with you. We will now collect the joys and sorrows.
For story time this morning, I'm going to read a book that I loved as a little kid, but right now I like it because August always makes me feel like it's a rush, and I want to appreciate summer, even though pumpkin spice is back. It's still summer. So it's Four Friends in Summer by Tommy DePaula. One fine day, Mr. Pig and Missy Cat decided to ask Mrs. Pig and Mr. Frog to join them in a stroll through the park. "What lovely crocuses and daffodils," said Missy Cat. "I like the tulips too," said Mr. Dog. "Nothing like a nice walk to make you feel chipper," said Mr. Frog. "Oh, look, an ice cream stand," said Mistress Pig. "I say," said Mr. Frog, "how about a row around the lake?" "Let's do it," said Mr. Dog. "I've never been rowing before," said Missy Cat. "Oh, you'll love it," said Mistress Pig. "Oh, we sail the ocean blue," sang Mr. Frog. "My balloon," squealed Mistress Pig. "Oh dear," said Missy Cat. "That's the first time that's ever happened," said Mr. Dog. "So sorry," muttered Mr. Frog. "Are you all right, Kitty dear?" said Mistress Pig. "Rowing is so much fun," said Missy Cat. "When can we do it again?" Since Missy Cat was the only one who wanted to go rowing again, the four friends thought it would be fun to do something they all enjoyed. They decided that each one would plant a garden. They all worked very hard as the summer went by. "Now that summer's almost over, my friends," said Mr. Frog, "I think we should visit each other's gardens. We can have a garden viewing day, said Missy Cat. "Oh, goody," said Mistress Pig. "Let's do it Thursday," said Mr. Dog. The four friends agreed that Thursday would be a perfect day. They all met at Missy Cat's garden. "Pretty," said Master Dog. "Nothing like a well-planned flower garden," said Mr. Frog. "Those marigolds look good enough to eat," added Mistress Pig. "Thank you, my dears," purred Mistress Cat. Next they went to Mr. Frog's garden. "Why, you have a water lily and cattail garden," said Mr. Dog. "So original," said Missy Cat. "You must tell me your secret," whispered Mistress Pig. "The secret is water," answered Mr. Frog. "Does look rather nice, doesn't it?" he added. Mistress Pig's garden was next. "Oh, Piggy sweet, how practical," said Missy Cat. "Never have I seen such pumpkins," said Mr. Frog. "And those carrots, I love carrots," said Mr. Dog. "I'm so pleased you like it," said Mistress Pig. "Here, taste these tomatoes, they're delicious." It's my favorite part of the garden, too. Finally, they arrived at Mr. Dog's garden. The three friends looked and looked. "I say, Doggy, what happened?" asked Mr. Frog. "Poor Doggy, I'm so sorry for you," said Missy Cat. "A dirt garden?" gasped Mistress Pig. "You don't understand, dear friends," said Mr. Dog. "It's a bone garden." The friends laughed, and everyone agreed there's no better way to enjoy a lovely day than strolling through a garden, no matter what kind of garden it is.
Now is the time in our service to join together in the spiritual practice of generosity. Our gifts of both time and money support our church and its work. Each week, we would like to spotlight a group or a committee and thank them for their gift of time. This week, we're highlighting Soul Matters, or the small group ministry. If you are not currently a part of a small group ministry, please contact Eileen to try to get that arranged. And if you are, we're going to be starting up again in the fall, and look forward to seeing all of you, or all of you in my group, but I'm sure everyone else's group is also quite lovely. 1/4 of our plate collection this summer season goes to Camp Adirondack. Founded in 1951 by the Universalists, Adirondack is a radically inclusive camp and conference center with a mission to provide an environment that inspires people to explore responsible roles in the web of life through physical, mental, and spiritual challenges. You can give to this morning's offering by placing a check or cash into the basket as is passed around, or by one of the options that is on your screen currently. Please know that the gift is intended for today's offering. We now gratefully accept the offering. So Abby shares both a joy and a sorrow. First, the joy, celebrating Poppy's second birthday with her family last week. A sorrow in the loss of their cat, Stella, who crossed the Rainbow Bridge on Monday after nearly 10 years with the family. There is also a joy. Just so glad to be in worship with all of you, beautiful folks, on this beautiful day. I will now drop a pebble into the water to signify all the joys and sorrows held deeply in our hearts. Whatever is on your heart today, know that we are with you.
I'll wait until you've got it on the screen for us. Okay. Love is the doctrine of this church. To dwell together in peace. To serve humanity in fellowship. With the source of meaning and life. Before we have our shared silence together, I'm going to read a little piece of a Brandy Carlisle song that I love. You can try to carve a faith out of your own, but a broken spirit may dry out the bone, and the edges of night may cause you sorrow. You know I may not be around this time tomorrow, but our holy dreams of yesterday aren't gone. They still haunt us like the ghosts of Babylon, and breaking of the day might bring you sorrow. You know I may not be around this time tomorrow, but I'll always be with you. I'm not going to do the reading today. A poet that I love, Andrea Gibson, has a video about climate change that I've been really watching a lot in this season of appreciating summer. So I'm going to play her spoken word video that was part of a campaign a couple years ago. And it should pop right up on that screen. We tested it.
In the 5th grade, I won the science fair with a project on climate change that featured a papier-mâché ozone layer with a giant hole through which a papier-mâché sun burned the skin of a Barbie in a bikini on a lawn chair, glaciers melting like ice cubes in her lemonade. It was 1987, in a town that could have invented red hats, but the school principal gave me a gold ribbon and not a single bit of attitude about my radical political stance, because neither he nor I knew it was a political stance. Science had not yet been fully framed as leftist propaganda. The president did not have a Twitter feed starving the world of facts. I spent that summer, as I had every summer before, racing to the forest behind my house down the path my father called the old logging road to a meadow thick with raspberry bushes whose thorns were my very first heroes, because they did nothing with their life but protect what was sweet. Sundays, I went to church, but struggled to call it prayer if it didn't leave grass stains on my knees. Couldn't call it truth if it didn't come with a dare to crawl into the cave by the creek and stay there until somebody counted all the way to 100. As a kid, I thought 100 was the biggest number there was. My mother absolutely blew my mind the day she said 101. 100 and what? Billionaires never grow out of doing that same math with years, can't conceive of counting past their own lifespans, believe the world ends the day they do. Why are the keys to our future in the hands of those who have the longest commutes from their heads to their hearts, whose greed is the smog that keeps us from seeing our own nature and the sweetness we are here to protect? Do you know sometimes when gathering nectar, bees fall asleep in flowers? Do you know fish are so sensitive, snowflakes sound like fireworks when they land on the water? Do you know whales will follow their injured friends to shore, often taking their own lives so to not let their loved ones be alone when they die? None of this is poetry. It is just the earth being who she is, in spite of us putting barcodes on the sea, in spite of us acting like Edison invented daylight. Dawn presses her blushing face to my window, asks me if I know the records in my record collection look like the insides of trees. Yes, I say, there is nothing you have ever grown that isn't music. You are the bamboo in Coltrane's saxophone reed, the mulberries that fed the silkworms that made the slippers for the ballet, the pine that built the loom, that wove the hemp for Frida Kahlo's canvas, the roses that dyed her paint, hoping her brush could bleed for her body. Who more than the earth has bled for us? How do we not mold our hearts after the first spruce tree who raised her hand and begged to be cut into piano keys so the elephants could keep their tusks? The earth is the right side of history, is the canyon my friend ran to when no one else he knew would echo his chosen name back to him, is the wind that wailed through 1956 Alabama until the poplar tree carved itself into Dr. King's pulpit, is the volcano that poured the mercury into the thermometer held under the tongue of Italy, though she knew our fever was why her canals were finally running clear. She took our temperature, told us we were too hot, even after we'd spent decades claiming she was not. Our hands held to her burning forehead. We insisted she was fine, while wildfires turned redwoods to toothpicks, readying the teeth of the apocalypse. She sent a smoke signal all the way from California to New York City. Ash fell from the sky. Do you know the mountains of California used to look like they'd been set on fire because they were so covered in monarch butterflies? Do you know monarch butterflies migrate 3,000 miles using only the fuel they stored as caterpillars in the cocoon? We need so much less than we take. We owe so much more than we give. Squirrels plant thousands of trees every year just from forgetting where they left their acorns. If we aim to be just half as good as one of the Earth's mistakes, we could turn so much around. Our living would be seed. The future would have roots. We would cast nothing from the garden of itself. And we would make the thorns proud.
So this week, let's try to be as good as one of the Earth's mistakes. Half as good, as they say. In our closing hymn, is number 145.
As tranquil streams.
Please join us in the words as we extinguish this flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts till we are together again.